Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the AMX ELC Biz. It's a Tier 5 French light tank. It's located on the north spawn of Redshire, and this one is under the command of beatasianoobs. And he's got the 90mm top gun. Game on! 2 Mark Spexers on the barrel. He's working on his third at the moment. It's actually quite an effective little light tank with the 90mm. A lot of people like the 75mm. Of course, you can turn the turret all the way round. With the 90mm, you can't do that. And it does have a kind of limited speed to get up to 65, because that's its maximum top speed. But it's rather slow to get there. But once it's in position, it's also very stealthy, because of course it's a light tank. So it's got the same camo when it's stationary as when it's on the move. Now this tank did actually exist. They did make them. There is one actually at the French Tank Museum at Saumur, and it's quite an interesting size. Then you've got a crew of 2, driver and the commander stroke gunner. And he's also the loader. So the driver doesn't get to do much. He's marked that as his target. All those guys moving about at the moment. He's just highlighting them, but now he's going to take a shot. So he's pulled back to use the wood mechanic. Gets one nice round in, but he does get spotted. Unfortunately, there was vehicles behind him that would actually see him, and therefore he had to move. But there's guys lining up to take shots at him at this moment. So, yes. Well, at least now he's in cover. They can't see him anymore. Now, this 90mm gun is capable of doing 240 alpha. It's not showing there at the moment, but it is 240. Trying to get the thing to come up. There it is. 120mm pen with standard shells, and with the APCR 150mm.
I need help. Moving to support you.
Kind of all alone. Oh, he got spotted again. This is not going well. In fact, you can hear the ground near him is getting hit. So obviously somebody's taking pot shots at him. Oh, and he gets a hit. Nice shot on the Bishop. Being a little more adventurous. One of the problems with this tank, of course, is it does take a little while to dial in on target. And that means that, as you can see, you have to have a lot of patience. And if after all that time you've waited to dial in and the target moves, you might miss out. Okay. Still no kill. But he's making a nice little nest here. better. That's a high roll. Ooh, might be able to get a good shot into the leopard. Just missed out.
They're knocked out.
And he gets his first kill by taking out the T-34. Yes, might be able to get the top of the T-14. Yep.
Vehicle destroyed.
90mm round will defeat the T-14's armor. Well, I'm not saying much at the moment, you can say, but this was part of the ELC project, which was actually to produce an engin léger de combat, which means light combat vehicle. It was supposed to be air transportable, that was the idea, and so it could be taken from France by air transport out to their colonies. Okay, so he's dialing in on the M10. Who obviously knows he's been spotted. Oh, what a shot! That's his third kill. That was a very good one. The idea was to have a fast vehicle that could actually move around the colony and provide support for the troops. He does get a hit on the Leopard, but he was just too far forward. And the Leopard fires its 30mm cannon back, and 2 shells to connect, or at least showing 62 hit points.
We fixed the trap. Drive on.
Now he's just showing the front of the Leopard, and I think he's tempting us to shoot at that. The 90mm should go through, but I think he's going to fire an HE round instead. Nope, didn't get that. If he could actually connect with an HE round, it'd certainly do a fair bit of damage to the Leopard. So I should point out, actually, the HE round's 320 alpha, but they've only got a limited amount of penetration. If I can show that there. He's also managed to get the coordination skill to increase the aim. There you go, 45mm of pen. Now the angle on that Leopard meant that he probably wouldn't have been able to get through the armour, but it would have impacted on the front, and more than likely it would have done serious damage. Trouble is, now he's got tank behind him as well as tank in front of him.
Ready to fire. I don't see the
Nice shot! Takes out the Leopard. That's his 4th kill. At least he gets a fighter badge out of that one. Should have mentioned right from the start, it is a tier 5 game with only tier 5 tanks in it. They actually started the project in 1955, so it is a post-war design. It was supposed to have 36 shells. In the game, they've actually given it an ammo capacity of 60. Mind you, that's with the 75mm. With the 90mm gun, it's actually slightly less. It's 44 shells. The vehicle actually weighs 6.7 tons in total. They only actually built 10 of them in total. That's all they produced. And of course the ELC M90, which is of course tier 8, was actually produced alongside. Ooh. Okay, well there's the enemy ELC. Yes! Did get a shot in, but it's a low roll. There's an interesting factoid for you. The AMX 13-ton tank is actually shorter by only half a meter in length. So it's actually slightly longer. But of course it only weighs, as I said, 6 tons or 7 tons fully loaded, whereas the ELC is 13 tons. Oh, what a shot! But he does get taken out by the Wolverine. Unfortunately, it leaves 2 tanks left. You can see it was actually hit from behind. Couldn't see the enemy when he was hit. And it hit the roof just as he killed his opposite number. He spun round, but he got taken out. So only 5 kills maximum for beatasianoobs. But all the enemy's got left now is the Wolverine, and we've switched over to the T1 Heavy, the enemy, our teammate in the T1 Heavy, and the other tank on our team is a VK3001H, and we've got 2 minutes left on the clock. Now it appears that they are hunting the enemy, and they've been spotted, and there's the Wolverine. And that's 1 hit from the 76mm gun. That's 2. Say the Wolverine's only got a 76mm as well. The VK's going up one side. There we go. And hello! And that's the end of his game, because that was the big gun. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for beatasianoobs in the AMX ELC biz. He managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him. He also got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He actually ended up with 5, 1/3 of the enemy team, and just 1 tank short of getting a top gun. He also picked up a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and he well exceeded that. And on top of that, he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see the highest damage was 2,521, and that went to beatasianoobs. Second highest damage actually went to the T1 Heavy on his team with 1,717. And the third highest damage went to the VK1602 Leopard on the enemy team, who managed 1,571 in total. When it came to kills, it was shared between the T1 Heavy and beatasianoobs. Both got 5 kills apiece. And in third place, we can see it's actually the Panzerkampfwagen 3, not the usual one you'd expect, the Fünf, That's the premium one. No, this is the Dreifvier, which is actually a combination of the Panzer III and the Panzer Mark IV, and it's the lesser known variety. But he managed to get 3 kills in joint, you could say, second place or third place. Yes, I suppose. But anyway, when it came to base XP, we can see it's still beatasianoobs. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,027 went to beatasianoobs. 1,003 went to the T1 Heavy. They were the only 2 who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game, with the next highest scorer being the VK1602 Leopard on the enemy team, who managed 566. He fired only 15 rounds in the game. He got 11 direct hits on the enemy and 11 penetrations, 1 splash. 2,521 hit points, of which 1,757 were at more than 300 meters. 8 hits received from the enemy, only 6 of which actually penetrated. Being a low tank actually means that the tracks do have a major input into whether or not the shell penetrates. The shell that actually penetrated and killed him actually went in through the roof, not through the tracks, unfortunately, and that's why it wiped him out. But yes, you could see that he did have enough hit points to stay around, and of course he did get hit by 30mm rounds, which actually came from the Leopard. And so, yes, that accounted for some of those penetrating shots. 2 non-penetrating shots, of course, stopped by the tracks. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, and 230 hit points of damage assistance. On a premium count, he actually made 5,093 credits profit from that game. If he'd actually played it with a free-to-play account, he actually would have made a loss. And he also took away 3,082 experience points out of it as well. It was 3 versus 6 at one point in the game, but they managed to whittle down the enemy. In the end, it was the fact that he had to defeat another enemy tank, such as his opposite number of the ELC, that he had to turn and shoot on the turn to get rid of that guy. And yes, he did get the 90mm round into the rear of the ELC to kill it, but he left himself vulnerable to that Wolverine. And there's nothing much he could do about that, because the Wolverine was sitting in that bush, watching what was going on, getting ready to finish them. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.